Hey, South Park Christian Chapel, it's Pastor Ben here. It's Wednesday, February 17th, and it is a special day, and that's why I'm coming to you. It is the beginning of the Lenten season. And so what that really means is that we're just a few weeks away from the celebration of Holy Week and considering Palm Sunday and the triumphal entry and the things that happened in Jesus' life leading up to his arrest and his death on the cross on Good Friday, and then ultimately in the resurrection on Easter Sunday. And so I wanted to give you a couple of things. First, what we are doing as a church in this time, and then an encouragement of what you might do as a family or individually in this time as we kind of turn our hearts and we go on the way towards this celebration and this season as a church. So the first thing is every Wednesday, just like the starting today, every Wednesday we will have a devotional time that everybody as a church kind of come together to watch these devotionals and just an encouragement of us considering how do we live on the way to this celebration and looking at in Scripture different things of stories and different pieces of Scripture of how they lived on the way towards what Jesus would ultimately do for all of us. And so every Wednesday that will happen. We'll have a service on Palm Sunday celebrating that, as well as then we're starting something new, which is a Good Friday service. It's going to be a short service, 45 minutes at the most, and it's just this idea that we're going to come together and reflect on what it really means that Jesus went to the cross for us. And then we will have a really special and exciting service on Sunday, Easter Sunday, but we're just still nailing down all the details for that, and so we will have service on Easter Sunday. But what that exactly is we're going to let you know as soon as we know, but it's coming really quickly. So the other thing is an encouragement that you might pick up something like one of these, which is a Lenten devotional, 40-day devotional, that helps prepare our hearts for celebrating that time at Easter. And so these are a couple that I've used in the past and the new one that I have for this year. So From the Grave is by A.W. Tozer, and it's just a compilation of different things that he's written to do with this season. It's a great one to pick up if you consider that. This one's by John Piper. It's The Passion of Jesus Christ, and it's 50 reasons why Jesus was suffered and died for us. And so it's a great one. This one I'm really excited about is by Paul David Tripp, who has a lot of good material out there, but this is a brand new one. It just came out this month called Journey to the Cross. And so if you don't know where to start, pick up this one. It's the one I'm going to be doing as well, and really just considering how do I come closer to Jesus in this season. So as we consider the devotional part for today and this overarching theme that we'll think about every week of on the way, for us it's on the way towards the celebration of what happened that Holy Week on Palm Sunday and the triumphal entry and the different things that happened in Jesus' life during that week leading up to his arrest and his death on the cross for us, and ultimately on Easter Sunday, the celebration of the resurrection. But what I was thinking about is this story that Luke gives us in Luke 24, that there's a couple of disciples who have seen what has happened during that Holy Week, and then they're on their way to a village called Emmaus, and they're considering and talking about the different things about what happened to Jesus, and then all of a sudden Jesus appears in their midst. And he starts saying to them, what are you talking about? And just kind of one traveler to another, what are you discussing? And they say, all the things that have happened. And Jesus says, what things have happened? And they begin to tell him about what happened with Jesus and how he was arrested and crucified, and they've heard he might have risen, but they don't know, and they're not sure, so they are leaving Jerusalem, and they said, they're just downcast because they were hoping that he was who they were looking for, the rescuer, the Messiah that they were looking for, but they just really didn't think so now. And so Jesus, as they're walking and talking, starts to open up the scriptures, the Old Testament scriptures to them, talking about the prophets and the different things regarding himself. He's talking about himself, and their eyes are not open to see that it is Jesus. And they get to the place where these guys are staying, and Jesus acts as though he's going to keep going, and they say, "No, please stay with us." They're just intrigued and are they can't believe what this guy is sharing, and so they say, "Stay with us and eat," and so he says he will, and he sits down, and they are about to eat, and he breaks the bread, and then all of a sudden it says their eyes were opened, and they recognized him, and then. This is the crazy part, I think. He vanished from their sight. And then they said to each other, "Did not our hearts burn within us while he talked with us on the road, while he opened to us the scriptures?" And they rose, and that same hour they returned to Jerusalem. Their hearts were burning inside them because Jesus was opening the scripture and speaking about who he was and what happened. We saw this in one of our messages in Acts, where Peter is sharing, and the people were cut to the heart by what the gospel said to them. And so it's just an incredible thing to me that they were on their way away from Jerusalem, away from what Jesus had told his followers to stay in Jerusalem and wait. And this is sometime before Pentecost, but they're on their way away from there, and then they see Jesus, and it changes everything. That they immediately, which is probably dangerous if they think that they had, Emmaus is a 7-mile trek away from Jerusalem. They probably had stopped for the night, and now it's kind of a dangerous thing to be running back in the dark along this road back to Jerusalem, but they couldn't wait. They had to get up and go on their way back to Jerusalem to tell the disciples to join them, to say, man, he really was who he said he was. And he even opened the scriptures and revealed it in a deeper way that we know he is the Messiah. Not that we hope that he is, that they had said before. We had hoped that this is who he was. They knew for certain. And they moved differently. They lived differently. They went differently. Instead of leaving Jerusalem and saying, man, we wish it had been true. They knew it was, and it changed everything. And that's how it should be for us, especially as we come up these weeks towards Easter. It's just a time for us to pause, reflect, mourn our fallenness, our sin, the things where we are broken, and to consider how a meeting with Jesus changes everything, and still should. And we should be meeting with him every day as we continue our way towards this Holy Week, and then we will celebrate and do that as a church. So today, take a few moments, maybe read from Luke 24, read this whole story, and consider, where are the places and how do I need to be on my way, not away from where Jesus wants me to be, but towards it.